fellow Toastmasters, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Today, I start off my speech by asking all of you if you know this boy. His name is Lo Wei Jie. Has anyone heard of him before?
Cute one.
So here's a picture of Lo Wei Jie, right? So just a brief 2 days ago, Wei Jie was a relatively unknown, a common 12-year-old boy, and he attended school in Compassvale Primary School, right? But a report in the Straits Times, from which I took these pictures, propelled him into stardom. And suddenly, a 12-year-old from nowhere suddenly became a local star. And what did he do? He had a simple dream of following the Youth Olympic torch. He just wanted to look at it, he wanted to take a picture. He had a scrapbook and he needed to fill it out. So driven by this objective and this simple goal of his, he actually ran all the way, all 15 kilometers, all the way from Punggol, Sengkang, and eventually to Hougang. A grueling 12 kilometers. Now, just asking the audience here, fellow Toastmasters, can you imagine running 15 kilometers and not stopping? This boy took 2.5 hours, and all he had was not even proper track shoes. He ran in his flip-flops, or what we call slippers. So he ran and ran for that 2.5 hours. He got a lot of blisters, sores, and aches you can possibly see. And nobody took notice of him. Until finally, when they reached the Hougang Stadium, he was actually keeping pace with all 122 torch bearers, all of them taking turns holding the torch, and they arrived at the Hougang Stadium for a break of 15 minutes. That's when the cameraman noticed and pointed him out. He said, "Hey, wasn't that guy there at the beginning of the ceremony? Wasn't he there?" And all of a sudden, everybody came and they cheered him, and he became a small local celebrity, and he was cheered on by YOG officials, volunteers. Even the policemen came off their motorbikes and gave him a pat on his back. Now, for the hard work that this boy has put in, he was actually bestowed 3 things, the power of 3. First of all, he was bestowed the honor of being a torchbearer himself by the YOG organizing committee in recognition of the hard work and the dedication that he's put in. Second of all, his family was given 4 tickets to attend the opening of the YOG ceremony this coming Saturday. And last but not least, he is positioned and poised to receive a free camera from Panasonic or Canon because his old one was drenched in the rain and was damaged as a result. I pause here now for all of us to take a thought, to think through this. Now, if only we can get this sort of visibility in where we work. Right? So many of us put in many hours of hard work and effort into our job. But how often do you feel that, sometimes the hard work that you put in goes unrecognized, not recognized by management, not recognized by colleagues? Is there anyone who knows the number of hours that you have put in attending meetings, preparing for reports, and even attending calls in the middle of the night, right? So oftentimes we feel that our effort at the workplace goes unnoticed and we are taken for granted. So what I wanted to do was I actually drew 3 simple lessons from this story of Lo Wei Jie to see how if that could be applied to our workplace. First and foremost, setting a goal, a simple goal. What Wei Jie started out to do was, when the reporters asked him, "Why did you do what you did? It wasn't easy, especially for a small boy like you." So he said, "I read about it in the newspapers. I wanted to see the torch. This might be the only chance I have." And true, he ran that 15 kilometers, 2.5 hours later, just trying to simple and follow his dream and follow his goal. A very simple goal, very achievable, and something that we should set for ourselves. Now, if you had imagined that if he had set a goal, a lofty goal of, say, to be one of the torch bearers at the Youth Olympic Games, you would have imagined he would have to put in a lot more hard work compete with other talented talents in a sport that he chooses, to be able to be recognized as being worthy of that. But yet, he achieved, he got his objective. Not only was he conferred to become a torch bearer, and all this was possible because he set out with a small, simple goal of wanting to follow the torch. The second lesson which I drew from him was the fact that not only has he set himself a very simple goal, he stayed very, very focused on it. Throughout that 2.5 hours, he kept on running. There was no turning back. He wasn't distracted by the blisters on his feet. He wasn't distracted by the heavy rain that wet had destroyed his camera. He didn't even notice that he ran 15 kilometers. He didn't even notice that he ran non-stop for 2.5 hours. So I think that's the kind of focus that we should set ourselves. Once you've set ourselves a goal, be focused on it and not be distracted. Last but not least was selecting what sort of events you want to participate in. Best of all, the more visible a project is, the more visible your contributions will be. No, everyone would agree and acknowledge that having YOG in Singapore was one of the largest mega events that's possible. Some 3,600 youths from all over the globe comes here to compete. 26 sport, 184 events. What could be more visible than a project like this, right? And better still, what did Lo Weijie get himself into? He got himself into a limelight even before the official start of the Youth Olympic Games this Saturday. So with that, fellow Toastmasters, I wanted to just sum up what I've shared today. 3 simple lessons that we learned from a 12-year-old boy who's ran 15 kilometers, 2.5 hours. First, set yourself a simple goal. Once you have done that, keep very focused and not be distracted. Last but not least, select what sort of projects or events that you want to participate in. So that's just some food of thought for you today. I hope you've gained some nuggets. Thanks very much.